Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to pixelhangover.com. Finally got around to editing together our look at the Mass Effect 3 Leviathan DLC, which just came out. It is a single-player DLC. The first real, actual chunk DLC that's for the single player that we've gotten since the game came out. I guess there was that quick little mission that was out right when the game came out. But anyways, a lot of people are asking how do you get to this? So when you have the DLC installed, you're going to want to go to the Citadel. And when you go to the Citadel, you're going to have options of two different places to land. And one of them is Dr. Bryson. You want to land at Dr. Bryson's labs or something named Dr. Bryson. That's where you want to land. And that will kick off this DLC. So in case you're floating around the universe as I was, I had just started my second playthrough of my character. I was like a level 56 or something like that. And I had to do that full, hour and a half, 2 hours of intro where you can't really take control of your ship. And then I never got the email prompt. You're supposed to get an email prompt to tell you to do this. But just so you know, if you have the DLC installed and you're a little ways into the game, just go to the Citadel and look for Dr. Bryson and land there. So right away, what we have here is right there. I go mercy on this guy right here just so you get some information off him. He's an assistant. So this Leviathan is a very interesting. So far, I'm about halfway through the DLC, maybe probably done with it by the time this gets uploaded. But we thought we want to show the first, good chunk, the first mission or so of this DLC, and it's going to last about 3 videos. So it's part 1 of 3 is what we're listening here or watching here. And you know what? The quality is fantastic. It's classic, Mass Effect through the roof on voice acting and just camera angles and production quality, and that's what I love about Mass Effect. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what to expect. I will say once our part, all 3 of our missions here, the second mission is actually quite exciting and very high octane. We didn't want to spoil the whole thing. There could be a number of people out there just wondering, hey, do I spend the $10, 800 Microsoft space points on this thing? And so I if you're a Mass Effect 3 fan, I don't think there's any question you should spend that money. So what's happening here, let's get you up to speed. As you landed at the Citadel, Dr. Bryson's labs, and you're in the middle of talking to him, and he's instantly killed by his assistant with a gun. If you spare his life there, you get a lot of information out of him. And basically he's a zombie. He's being controlled by someone else. You can tell that. And that's kind of where the mystery of all this comes from, and what you investigate through this whole first mission. So, and that right there is that artifact right there is going to come into play in many different. Right there, you see that he was obviously talking too much, and here you're hearing him. The artifact is talking through him, and then he's done. So, I believe he goes into a coma. But yeah, there's quite a setup to this DLC before you venture out into space, and I actually had to clip some of it out just to fit into 3 videos. So the first mission or so took me over an hour, so it gives you a good idea. The second mission was about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, so I think we're probably going to clock in around 3 hours total time for the DLC. If you're like me and you kind of like to go in every corner and look at things, I didn't do too much of that here because I was worried about it taking too long. So what you're seeing here is just a recording that you found, and what they have you do right after that is to investigate his lab. So there's tons of stuff to click through, and you actually have to kind of put together a puzzle in the galaxy map behind you right there. You got to go find clues that will hint at where you should look next to follow the lead that he was on to figure out this puzzle. So that's basically what's happening, and hopefully you can hear some of the voiceover under me here. It's pretty amazing if you go back and watch Mass Effect 1, just visually how far the series has come. People are going to argue about combat and what they've done with it, and I understand that, but visually it's pretty amazing how far it's come. I put in Mass Effect 1 right before this came out, and boy, I was blown away at how far BioWare has taken this engine and what they've done with these consoles. So obviously I'm playing on the 360 for this version. The DLC is out on all, so I don't think there was any exclusive. So right here, the first thing they want you. So that, yeah, that galaxy map. Yeah, they had to, for some reason, you know, sometimes it's a little janky getting to line up in Mass Effect 3. That's the only thing that's kind of goofy. So this right here being the very first thing you find in the lab, and then we're gonna walk around and just find uh, tons of clues and try to piece together. It's almost CSI-ish. If you've ever played those kind of cheesy bad games, I got that vibe from this first opening scene before you take off. Basically, look together, you know, look for a bunch of clues and put them together on the galaxy map.
Let's focus on what he does say then.
He mentioned extrapolating Leviathan's path.
Crunching numbers.
So we're gonna want to try to find, I believe it's another scientist, Garrison or something like that. I believe his name was. If I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. Starts with a G, I know that.
So how do we narrow it down?
And that's what you're gonna try to figure out here.
Used a galaxy map search program in their hunt for Leviathan. It may help us locate.
There we go, Garnu. That's what it is, Garnu. Okay, so there we go. We click that, and you get a bunch of different points on the map, but who the heck knows what they are? And as we find clues, you're going to fill up different colors in front of you, 6 different colors. And then, as I finally figured out, you know, it took me a little while to piece it together. You got to, you know, put together just the 2 in the end that make the most sense to narrow down the evidence. And that's pretty much what you're trying to do. So I got to say, pretty slow intro to this DLC, but through 2 missions, it definitely picks up and is quite fun. You know, you're always going to new places, and I love the picture boxes, skyboxes in Mass Effect 3. That's one of the best things about it. I'm really upset that they didn't have constant single-player DLC, because I would have bought it all. I really love this universe. I'm not obsessed with it. I don't know the lore as what some people do, but I do just like the world. I like what they've created. So this is right away at the beginning. I'm going around just getting as many clues as I can. As you can see, there's stuff everywhere. Some stuff like that initiates a cutscene. Other stuff, not so much, but that's okay.
Edie, can you add a search filter for systems along that projected path?
Adding the search filter now.
And that's obviously a benefit of DLC is if you're not quite at level 60 like me, I'm at 57. You're gaining some XP on this, even though I am on my 2nd playthrough, so it won't be too hard to get there.
Would Leviathan need ESO?
While it is not consumed as fuel during FTL travel, Element 0 will decay after several centuries of active use. If Leviathan is old enough, it would need to replenish its supplies.
Okay. Can you give me a search filter for locations with Element 0?
Adding it now.
So right there, search filter, that's what we're looking for. So she just added a filter to that galaxy map. So it's 1 of 6. You need 6 of them.
Looks like data on the Rachni.
I suppose you could get away with just 2 if you guess right, but again, that doesn't really play well with how I play games. I get right in there and I'm gonna look in every corner, specifically in this world. Games like Fallout 3 are a little too much for me. I do like them, but I get so distracted that I end up just saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to focus on the main story and not worry about everything else. But Mass Effect 3 is at least linear enough that you can search around, and there's always a benefit. There's a picture right there that you're going to find another picture that kind of comes in handy, right? Not too long from now.
Bryson was keeping the encryption key close to his heart.
So this is outside where your
Closer than family.
ship is, and per usual, I think there was something to the right there that I missed, but always something to grab in a pile, right? So this is back upstairs. I went back in, I cut a little bit because I wandered around, and this is that staircase that I passed going outside. So this is upstairs, and there,
Take a look at that.
and there's a number there that you lift off that painting or picture, I should say.
Get back to the data pad we found earlier.
That helps give you a clue as to what to do. There's audio logs and data pads everywhere in this thing. Make sure you click on everything because you never know. So this is me heading back to that galaxy map, and this is I hadn't gone back here until right now. I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot going on here. So I have,
Prothean artifact.
there's 1,
Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
That thing, I think, is just for fun. It hasn't done anything worthwhile. So I have 4 things there right now. So you're going to throw everyone. Red is actually one of the ones you're going to need. I believe red and orange. Just so you know.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
So I have a green, and see, I had enough right there to do it, but I'm thinking, all right, there's got to be 2 more. Or 1 more, I should say. It wasn't too hard to find. I mean, I just walked around a little while, and you know, it's not. See, that wasn't there before, you know. So things open up as you progress. So there we go. There's that that last one there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this last group up here, and you'll see me piece together the puzzle and figure it out. And so yeah, we got about a minute left in this video, but go ahead and hit part 2. We continue on, and we get off the Citadel and start heading into some combat. So stick with us, pixelhangover.com. Hit part 2 in the top right corner, and we'll keep it going. Thanks for joining us.
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.
Reaper activity?
No results. Some of our search parameters may be irrelevant.